Hi everybody, Matt here with J-Town Outdoors. Today I'm bringing you a video on my camp kitchen setup. I want to show you what I take with me when I go camping with my friends and family to cook out in the outdoors. I really enjoy cooking with my friends and family outside when we're camping, whether it's on the fire, on a Blackstone griddle like this, or on a camp stove like the Coleman here. We always find something unique to cook and something fun to cook. I have a lot of different recipes that I use when I go out camping, and this is my setup for what I take to ensure that I cook the best meals possible. Let's get started with the heat source that you're going to be using to cook on. You can go old-fashioned and cook on a grate over a fire, which I love doing. To me, it brings a lot of flavor to your food, and you can cook so many different things on a campfire, and that's the fun part. And it's also the most challenging part, is controlling the amount of heat that you're cooking with to make sure you're not overcooking your food, but still cooking it to the correct temperature so you're not getting sick. Between cooking on the campfire and using this Blackstone griddle here are my usually two go-tos for camping. If we're taking my buddy's pop-up or some other type of motorhome, we usually use a grill or a stove on there as well. But I also just picked up this Coleman camp stove that I want to start using this year, and using a combination of different pots and pans to cook on. It's a little bit smaller of a profile, a little bit lighter to take because I'm just camping out of a Ford Focus, so I don't have a lot of room. The Blackstone sometimes gets a little bit heavy. It could be a pain in the butt to clean once in a while if you don't have a lot of time. So I figured getting this Coleman stove would be a little bit more beneficial for what I'm looking to do with camping and cooking in general. So those are the few options that I take. Usually I take one or the other, but sometimes I might take both depending on what we're wanting to cook.
The next thing you're going to want to look at here is what your camp kitchen is being set up on. Now, most campsites and campgrounds offer picnic tables that allow you to set up your stove or your Blackstone on to cook on. They also have a fire ring or a fire pit of some sort that if you're going to cook over a campfire, you can do that. However, some places that I go to just don't have a big enough picnic table to have people to sit at as well as the room to cook. So what I usually take with me here is this Black Sierra Equipment folding table that comes with 4 little stools. The little aluminum stools that just fold up nice and neat and tuck into the underside of the table here, and the legs collapse. Overall, the profile is just the thickness of the table here, which is about 4 inches, and it's about 2 by 4 feet when it's completely opened. So it's a convenient table because I could cook on it, or we can also cook on something else and then use the table to eat at.
So let's get into the meat and potatoes per se of the kitchen setup, which is the actual cookware and utensils that I use to cook with. So I have everything here stowed away in a Plano 68 quart Sportsman's trunk, and in that I have added a 5/16 weather stripping and gasket around the inside lip of this container to make it a little more water resistant than how it already comes. So you can pick that up at any hardware store and modify that trunk accordingly. So as you can see, this is pretty filled up, but it's all stuff that I use when we go out. So this is set up here for a 2-person camping trip, basically me and my fiance, and anywhere from 4 to 6 days usually is this amount of kit that I'll take with me when I go out. So right off the bat, you can see we'll just work left to right. You have I have some Ziploc bags. These are good in general for when you divide up meats or food that you want to put back in the cooler. It's always good to have something sealable, airtight, watertight that you could put back in the cooler. Got some various rags and sponges here just for cleanup when we're cooking. Obviously there's cleanup involved because there's a lot of dishes and silverware here, so good to have some sponges and some rags that you can use to clean up. I have 2 Camco collapsible 2-gallon water jugs. Basically I use these mainly for filling up for dishwater, so I can fill these up ahead of time and have them ready to go, and then I boil the water to make it warm to make sure I'm actually cleaning my dishes. I do keep all my soaps and whatnot in a separate trunk. That's my other trunk here. I have another one of these that has my general camping stuff, so I do have things split up just a little bit, but I try to keep these about the same weight so it disperses the weight evenly on my roof rack. I have a bottle here to put oil in for when I'm using the Blackstone griddle or just a iron skillet in general. I do have also a can of Pam. that can be used again. Pan goes a little bit better when you're making pancakes and whatnot. So I do have that. I have some nitrile gloves I need to restock, but those are important so you don't cross-contaminate food or get any bacteria from raw meat onto your vegetables or any other type of food that you're cooking. Little metal clips to clip a tablecloth to this table here or whatever picnic table we might have on the site. 2 small stainless steel cups for tea or coffee in the morning or any sort of beverage at all. Perfect for taking camping. They're easy to clean up and they're good for the environment, obviously. I do have a Stanley PMI Adventure Nesting 2-cup cook set. I use this for boiling water for tea or coffee. I also use it for boiling water for helping to do dishes after we're done cooking. I have a Stanley Adventure 2-bowl cook set. This here has 2 bowls in it, a spatula, a ladle, and 2 cutting boards. This is a really nice setup here. I've used both of these for some time, so I decided this year to upgrade to the Stanley Adventure Full Cooking Kitchen Basecamp set. This is a crazy get up here. It's a big pot, a frying pan, plates, cups, bowls, silverware, and a drying rack. So I'm going to do a future video on this after I use it. I haven't used it yet, but it's definitely going to be a good setup for myself, being that I do so much cooking. It's got a lot of potential there. 2 enamel coated steel plates. Got some Lodge seasoning spray for cast iron. I ran out of the other butter that I used for seasoning, so I found that the other day to pick up after I've been going through and organizing all this to make sure I have everything ready to go for when we do get to go camping this year. I have 2 iron skillets. I have a 12-inch here and an 8-inch. They're both Lodge skillets. That's the best one on the market. I've tried the Ozark Trail ones, and the Ozark Trail ones just don't cut it compared to the Lodge. I find that the Ozark Trail ones are very hard to maintain good seasoning on, and once the seasoning goes bad on the Ozark Trail ones, there's really no recovering from it. So spend the money and get the Lodge kits. The Lodge ones are going to last you a lot longer. 2 plastic cutting boards for prepping food. I do carry a spare lighter down here. It's just some redundancy. I have some expandable forks for using over a fire to cook marshmallows, hot dogs. Must have whenever you're camping. And then I have 2 Sterilite small containers here that fit well within this larger box. And in those I have basically all my utensils. Some more knives, stainless steel knives, 6-inch and 4-inch. These are great for cutting food, meat, vegetables, fruits, anything like that. They're a must. I do have some general plastic spatulas and spoons, a slotted one if we're doing any sort of pasta, some Lodge scrapers, some generic steak knives, serrated, a stainless steel spoon and spatula, some Lite My Fire utensils, eating utensils, some CRKT eating tools, this silicone rest for when you're using your utensil. You don't have to put it on the dirty picnic table or whatnot. You can keep it on that, keep it clean. And then some stainless steel tongs. So that's pretty much everything I use utensil-wise to cook. All fits nice and compact in this thin little profile here. And then my last Sterilite container in here, I got some tin foil, some scrubbing and cleaning utensils for the iron skillets, some more plastic bags, some seasonings. Right now I just got garlic powder and steak seasoning, but usually I have some sort of salt and pepper, some paprika, some onion powder, some generic seasonings in there. Some grips here for, you can either use these as hot pads or grips for your skillets. I have the cloth ones and silicone ones. And then some chip clips, good for if you're having any snacks or whatnot that you need to reseal. So, and then the final item here that I wanted to talk about that I forgot to mention previously was the sink that I wash everything in. So I used to have a generic flexible, collapsible sink like this that I picked up from Amazon, and it just got beat up. It was smaller than this. I couldn't really fit iron skillet into it to clean it or anything like that. And now that I have that bigger pot kit from Stanley, I decided to pick up this UST flexible sink. It's got it's also collapsible. It's got handles on it, so I could fill it up with water and carry it, or it's just perfect size. It fits 16 liters in there of water, and it collapses down nice and thin. You can pretty much throw it anywhere. So I've yet to try it out, but it's a new pickup for my setup that now that I have some bigger pots and pans to use, I want to have the capability of being able to wash them efficiently and effectively to make sure that they're clean. That is what I carry in the kitchen setup. Quite a variety of availability for whatever I may be cooking, from fajitas to breakfast potatoes to pancakes to French toast, steak, chicken, pasta. I can do it all with this setup, and I have done it all with this setup. If you guys have any questions about why I carry what I carry in my kit for my kitchen for camping, or if you have any suggestions of things that maybe I forgot and I should add, please put a comment below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this. Like I said, I will go into an in-depth review eventually of these Stanley cookware sets, because I do really enjoy using these. A lot of versatility with them. They do stand up well against the test of time in terms of use. I've used them quite a bit already, these two here, and I'm really excited to get to use the full Basecamp kitchen setup. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.